into game number 1.
We're finally here for our first set. It is Haze versus Petayaa, Diddy Kong versus Kazuya. What do you think about this matchup? I mean, seed 16 versus seed 17, so this is a dead even matchup right here.
I'm really interested. So I've seen Petayaa and other Kazuya players beat Haze before, and I've also seen Haze do the same thing to them, right? We know that, you know, I think it's a matchup that on paper can be really good for Diddy Kong, right? You have the movement to run away from Kazuya 7 ways a Sunday. He has a really hard time dealing with things, especially on bigger, wider stages like PS2 with higher platforms, right? Dealing with things like Monkey Flip. However, you know, he has Banana as well. However, Diddy Kong gets hit once and dies, and if he gets caught out by that Banana himself, right? If Kazuya gets his hands on that potassium, not only is it going to strengthen his bones and his eyesight, but it's also going to be a really, really bad day for that little flipping around, race car driving, airplane driving, subway riding, you know, chimpanzee. It's so hard when Kazuya actually has a half-stage burst option to pin you down, no matter what your movement looks like, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it's going to be a lot of Kazuya enduring the amazing frame data of Diddy Kong, but once he gets his opening, he is going to be flying. And another thing I would like to mention, as soon as, wait, is this just warm-ups?
No, this is
this real?
It could be real. We'll see if he gets into it. It does look like they might be playing.
I think they're playing.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing, and this is a real thing. Haze does have a secondary Rob. It's not something we've seen that often, and it's interesting to see him start with it. Though I think it might have to do with being in best of 3 territory, I believe, right?
Yeah,
so.
maybe. Maybe this is something that he's theorized a lot in this matchup. Maybe didn't feel good in the last couple times that he's played against Kazuya. So wanted to just use different tools to play in this matchup. And already, seeing a double gyro and getting Kazuya off stage to the side B is going to do it. And Haze off to a great start with the secondary round.
I really like that reset from him there, right? He could have had the kill right off that double toss, but instead decides to back up, reset, not feeling confident in it. So rather than overextend, just plays the situation, knowing that Kazuya has those very linear options, right? And stuck on the ground against a character like Rob can be so rough on a small stage, right? Because of that 7-frame jump spot, there's nowhere for him to go. You get caught between a gyro and that neutral air. And Haze is doing a great job playing spacing, playing for distance, and just slowing this game down.
Yeah, Petayaa has not gotten any solid openings so far, but gets a back air to finish it off right there. I'm really loving what I'm seeing from Haze. A down smash in neutral like that, that was crazy. Let's see if he can get this edge guard. He's forcing him to go high, but great recovery from Petayaa.
Sometimes you just gotta spin to win, my friend, right? And now going for the back air, I'm not even sure how he got that high above ledge with his hair box for Kazuya to lose the stock there, but Haze gonna take it all the same. And this small stage of Smashville has just been so incredibly volatile. You would think that that center platform and small stage size would be great for Kazuya to pin you down, find some firm protects, and keep things going like we might be seeing right about here, but gonna drop it, so not quite yet. Even still, Electric picks up the stock regardless.
And that's exactly what playing against Kazuya feels like. You play so well for this whole stock, but it just takes 1 or 2 openings for Kazuya to get his. But now we got 70% on the man himself. Ooh, Electric wins, got this. What is he gonna do with this? Not too much, and Haze gets away.
He had the opportunity for the first protect there again, right, to cover everything, but just messed it up. And that rare drop from a player of Petaya's caliber is gonna give Haze one more chance, and that might be all he needs. He's gonna get caught out running in. Ambiguous DI though allows Haze to get away. Now pressuring Kazuya off stage, no air dodge. Reads the gyro, tries to look for the beep boop once, twice, doesn't find it. There's a full-on scramble right now.
Oh my god, there were so many interactions where both players could have just won the game, but neither of them finding that hit to finish the game. Haze looking for it again off stage, but Petayaa not going to give it to him.
Okay, this is probably just going to be a bury into an up air. Yep, that's going to do it. No DI check needed there, 160%. You have to have pretty much a perfect match to find your way out of dodge. Even still, right? Petayaa at the end found some leases on life. The small stage size of Smashville really came back to help him, because once he was able to get Haze in the corner, Haze didn't have anywhere to run away, even with that burner, right? He wasn't able to activate and fly out of dodge the way Rob might want to. In neutral and advantage, we saw a lot of this. A lot of these neutral airs, forward airs, gyro just to control space, slow things down, create some pressure, and then push you off stage where Kazuya can be relatively weak. but Petayaa was so good at finding the hit, racking up the damage, and then once Rob had to land on him, pushing it out from under platform, which ordinarily you wouldn't expect, but for Kazuya Rob specifically, Electric is so good, right, as an anti-air that you just don't care.
Yeah, and Petayaa did a great job of having Electric lead into that kill option until that very last one, where it was he had the chance to win the game and it didn't work out. So if Petayaa is able to close that out in this second game, it would end in a different way. But this is a best of 3, so if Haze wins this set is over.
And however, in order to do so, right, he's gonna have to get through Petayaa, and Petayaa is not gonna go down without a fight, but right now might go down to a triple toss. He's gonna drop it though, so Haze is gonna give Petayaa another chance at this stock, just as he got one in turn time and time again in game 1. The wider stage length is gonna do him favors, but that short side blast zone could nary spell doom if Petayaa is not careful, and it will. He just could not get away from Rob's offstage presence.
Yeah, and we're seeing Haze force Petayaa for a high recovery so many times in this game, and Haze finally able to punish that right there by expelling all the resources and getting an easy edge guard.
Yeah, how do you feel like Petayaa specifically is keeps getting caught out? Because it feels like Haze has really locked down his pace of play.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that's kind of, par for the course in this matchup sometimes, just because Rob is putting out so many options that it's hard for Petayaa to get in sometimes. I just feel like if Petayaa gets in and gets those openings, he's got to make the most out of it. I feel like in the best of 3, it is really hard to adapt to what Haze is doing right now, but as long as you trust your punish game, you can still eke out a win.
Speaking of punish game, though, the juggle 1-2 and not gonna get that DI mix right at the end. Remember, whatever side of Rob's body you're on is the direction you're gonna get sent, so Robs can mess that up, wiggle back and forth and change which way you have to DI, and that time Haze taking full advantage to find that stock. Petayaa now 1 left on winner's side. But that being said, this is Kazuya Mishima, and he's in full gi, right? He's in full martial arts mode. He is ready to take stocks.
Yeah, he is ready to take stocks, and the gyro stuck on the other side of the stage. Haze not being able to use it, but just disengaging and going for the gyro right there. I love that from Haze. And now he's got an opening, throwing him off stage, trying to get a zombie air from Haze. Ooh, not able to quite get it. And the electric into back air is going to do it on Town and City. 73% is not something that Petayaa is afraid of.
And that's one of the most insane things I think I've seen from Petayaa in a hot minute. He just ran up and raw electric, right? He might lose his stock here if he's not careful, but the platforms would have saved him. However, he took a gyro in a really awkward place. Haze just mispositioning a little bit, now gets the grab. There's a huge opportunity. Petayaa has the chance he desperately needed. Gonna send him down once. Out of fuel here, but Haze able to get down, reset, and now Petayaa feels like he's running out of room.
Feels like he's running out of room, but still getting back to the stage. And now let's see what Petayaa can do. He's at 163. Not a lot of options left here. 1 or 2 more hits, and Haze is going to do it. Can he do it with the ledge trap? And he does with the back air.
He just went once again for that raw option, raw side B to lock things down. But
oh, is this
maybe
best of 5?
Maybe it is all best of 5. For some reason, I thought it was.
Oh, all best of 5.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought it was best of 3.
Oh,
you know why? It was
because it's
doubles.
winners round 2.
Yeah.
But here at Garden Brawl, they
doubles.
treat us well, and they give us all best of 5 for this ultimate bracket. So I'm pretty happy about that. And
listen,
now it's time for Petayaa to reverse 3-0.
There's so much good Smash Bros, right? Even when it's Kazuya and Rob, these characters can show us their fair share of hype moments, our fair share of scrambles, and our fair share of explosive gameplay. But Petayaa has one goal in mind. It starts with a game, but if you want to get in the money, what better way to do it than showing off the solid gold cash money Mishima?
Yeah, like you said it starts with the game. I thought it started with the character, the counter pick, of the yeah. Anyways, let's see this electric go through. Oh my god, the gyro stopping it out. That was crazy.
And that was really smart positioning from Haze. You saw how he took space there. Recognize that if you go for electric, he gets pushed back into it, and it was intentional to prevent him from getting comboed in the same way that you would expect. Now just gonna fall with that back air because once again, Kazuya just doesn't have great options to stuff that out from that angle. and he has the slowest auto turnaround in the cast, right? So he's not going to be able to find that in the way you expect to with maybe some of the other Shotos as easily.
Yeah, and we saw the first rage drive there from Petayaa in this entire set right there, and it didn't quite KO, and now we're seeing Petayaa struggle to actually get the stock, which could be huge. Oh, nice grab from Haze, sending him off stage. I like that from Haze, always sending him off stage if he can.
Great mix up there into that 1-2 punch. Petayaa gonna get on the board, keep this one nice and even. But this has been the story of the set so far, Reed, is that Petayaa has been able to keep this close, but never been able to really cement an advantage in this stock count at any point moving forward. Haze's positioning has just been too good, right? He's so willing to just play this non-interactive defensive game to just slow everything down, where Kazuya can't quite keep up on that axis.
Yeah, Kazuya definitely is struggling to get in right now. We're seeing, trying to just do the dash, crouch dashes to cover the space in between him, doing a good job of doing it right there, and the rage drive does actually get the KO at 125.
Yeah, you know, it's a great option to go for there. Low risk, very high reward, right? Frame 6, so much super armor and a command grab, so you can't even shield. It's very hard to get away from that button. And it's going to give Petayaa that first lead that we talked about. It could be a huge one, but with no platforms, he doesn't find the extension. Now the jab lock up smash for a little bit of mix. Haze showing you that a lead might be a lead, but it's not as big as it might seem. And now he's got every chance to find his way back into this one and steal out this game 3.
Yeah, it has a chance to do it, but Petayaa with the electric into Nair. Oh, the up smash doesn't do it. The high ceiling is not going to be able to end Haze's stock right now, but just one back here is what Petayaa is looking for. One electric, one almost anything. Oh, and a raw up smash would have done it too.
He went for the parry there?
That was crazy.
That was, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, that's how you punish spaced Rob neutral errors. You parry it. But even still, Petayaa hadn't looked for one of those at all this set so far. And you can see after the game, absolutely feeling himself. Watch the way that Haze tries to call this out. He's ready to call the aggressive option. But Petayaa just ready with the parry, puts his foot in him, all business. Haze not even ready for the DI. It was just a fantastic call.
Yeah, he kicked it right off the stage. And Rob's neutral is such a good neutral tool, but we're seeing that if players become too predictable, or if the opposing player positions well around it, if they get that parry, it is punishable. So great job from Petayaa from recognizing that weakness and getting a big, starting off game number 4 really strong. This is a potential reverse 3-0, I think.
I agree with you, right? Kazuya also just a character so prone to it once he gets in your head, and Petayaa has started that effect in spades. We were talking about how he kicked Haze right out of game 3, but he kicked him right into game 4, and he kicked himself into that next gear, because right now Petayaa has locked and loaded and is starting to get the download on this pace of play that Haze is throwing out. Even still, the question is now, how can he find his way back? How can he find his way out of these ledge traps, these edge guard scenarios where Haze has been so brutally efficient?
Yeah, and one of the ways to do it is just by going low. I feel like we haven't seen Haze get any low recoveries caught from Petayaa, so he's always catching the high option. So going low there, great option there, but just a raw side being neutral for Haze.
Well, it's really hard, right? Because Kazuya has that 7-frame jump spot. Again, we keep bringing it up, but that's because it's a big deal. He can't jump over you. He can't get out of dodge. And if he tries to just run underneath because he thinks you're going to go for an aerial, right? Gyro's right there to cover. He literally has nowhere to go except eat that in the corner there. And Haze took full advantage, but Petayaa just answering right back, right? Rocking you with his fists, and now one stock away from forcing a game 5. Reed, this is just an absolute dismantling with your back against the wall.
Oh my god, 2 F smashes in a row from Petayaa. He is feeling confident right now. It feels like he's shaking off the early set nerves, and the up smash is going to do it. Amazing stuff from Petayaa. Dominant game number 4.
I'm really excited. I'm pretty sure, and we'll see it in the replay, so I'm going to avoid, you know, holding off on saying it until we get there, but I'm pretty sure that there is a slight way that Haze could have gotten out of this at the end here, but it does feel like, you know, the Rob just like all of a sudden just stopped working, right? He gets out, he can't get out there. Okay, he wasn't actionable at any point. It looked like he might have been actionable.
It felt like he was there for so long that it felt like he maybe could have gotten out.
He could have SDI'd up and away, and then maybe DI'd up and away to find his way out. Yep.
All right, this makes sense. I mean, he just lost 2 games in a row with the Rob. It felt like if this was a best of 3, it would have been a great counter pick, but Petayaa adapted to the Rob, and now we're seeing the tried and true Diddy Kong from Haze.
But you go out, you only need to take a game, right? He's obviously adapting to what you've had, so you have to try something else. And this way, there's no room for him to adapt to this Diddy. You get these high side plats on Town and City as well. Yes, you have to deal with it being FD sometimes, but Diddy Kong with Banana is relatively well equipped to deal with it, unless Petayaa just calls out your banana pull, which is where Diddy Kong is objectively most vulnerable, and uses it to find a quick first stock, now gets a trip, right? He's playing this matchup immaculately.
Yeah, Petaya's playing really well right now, saying that it doesn't matter what character you're using, my punish game is good, and I want to complete this reverse 3-0 with the back throw. Ooh, tried to catch the high recovery, but not quite. But still, on top of him, he doesn't let him breathe.
Bro, that still the coolest move name in the game, by the way, for that. Well, one of them, right? That's spinning low. Oh, from Kazuya Mishima. But as his crouch dashes, the command grab, the rage drive, all burnt up. 3 stocks to 1. Haze is gonna need a miracle for a set that just minutes ago felt like it was his for the taking. Petayaa, between mixing up pace of play, countering the item play, right? Just these items holding out and controlling space, mixing up his movement perfectly to counter the positioning of it, has left Haze just grasping at straws, and they're having to find the F smash just to take the stock, but now still has a deficit to work with and needs to find something special here.
Yeah, definitely needs to find something special. Definitely needs to rack up the percent quickly, because if you let Kazuya get one opening, you are going to be on the reverse end of a reverse 3-0. And yeah, Haze is trying to do that right now. Only gotten hit twice on this stock, but oh my God, so much damage coming in right here. 100%. With 2 stocks to go and just the 4, yeah.
And at the end there, you saw, right, Haze intentionally placed that banana past the edge of platform so that Petayaa couldn't just run at him and chase him, right? That banana kind of acted like a wall. Petayaa stopped for a second and said, hold on, let's just pick banana up, and then I'm going to keep going. Right? He spaced his button to throw out a hitbox at a low-risk situation, but way more so than that. His intention was to just pick up banana, take that threat option away from Diddy Kong, because suddenly not only does Diddy put himself in the corner, he doesn't have a banana to work with, which means he can't just jump over you, flip to the other side of the stage, because you have banana to trap his landing, crouch dash over to him, and cover it. It puts him from what is on paper a really good escape scenario to a really, really bad one, just because you pick up the banana there. And I think Petayaa, again, just the way he adjusted to these projectiles, whether it's gyro, whether it's banana, was immaculate. Just his positioning, right? Not even just utilizing them in his hands, but just saying, okay, you've designated this space off limits for me. Here's how I'm gonna use that feeling of comfort as a trap for you, right? And lull you into that false sense of safety.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that like a lot of Rob mains will tell you is that like one of the keys to beating Rob isn't using his gyro against him. Like if you got the combos and you got the opportunity, you can do it. But a lot of them just like, they just throw it up. They tell you throw it up or just like keep it on the other side of the stage. And we saw a lot of that from Petayaa. We saw a lot of that, and he was able to complete the reverse 3-0. I liked how even though Haze switched to his main, Petayaa stayed confident and his punish game stayed strong, and that was what won him that set in the end. Amazing stuff from Petayaa. But we got our next competitors coming up, and I know you got excited, so I'll let you introduce this one.
Yeah, we've got G Extreme versus Floppy Fail. We have got Pikachu, Samus, barring a surprise, right? Of course, both these players have been known to pull out another character from time to time, but I think at this point, mostly locked in to their solo maining situations. G Extreme, the Pikachu from Connecticut, Floppy Fail here in New Jersey, an un-PR'd Samus player, but someone who has done well at Arcadians, right? Has gotten good wins off good players, and is someone who plays a matchup that, at least to us in New England, right, and even folks in Tri-State, doesn't have